Our next guest is a very talented actor and writer who received 4 Emmy nominations this year for his work on the hit series Ted Lasso, including Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series. New episodes of Ted Lasso are released Fridays on Apple TV+. Let's take a look.
Well, that was interesting.
Oh, thank you, Doc. Yeah, a little something we came up with back in Kansas. See, what we're doing is...
You pretend to be an arse, so the team make you their common enemy and not Jamie.
Yeah, yeah, spot on.
Got it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Has it ever worked?
Trying to remember.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese, that's right. Yep, we were at a arcade/pizza joint in Lincoln, Nebraska, and one of our offensive linemen got his head stuck in a VR machine, ended up getting the entire meal and all our beverages comped for free, so...
Maybe they don't have Chuck E. Cheese here.
Oh, yeah. Y'all might call it something different here, like Charles Edgar Cheeserton III or something, right?
Please welcome back to the show our very good friend, Brendan Hunt. How are you, Brando?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
Hey,
wonderful.
but actually, I'm a little annoyed, Seth, because I was willing to fly to New York. I would have jumped right on a plane. I was told you weren't having people in the studio.
Yeah.
And then old Yellow Dress comes out, and I'm an ass here in my house.
Yeah. And it gets worse because our next guest is also in studio. Now, to be fair, I took it upon myself to not ask that of you because you are a new dad. Congratulations, Brendan. There's your little guy. Right away, you're force-feeding Arsenal into his bloodstream. How is he taking to watching football matches with you?
Oddly enough, he really seems to like it. I guess because it's just a giant sea of green, and you know, the only thing that Daddy actually cares about. So maybe that draws him in a little bit. But he has now watched more soccer games at the age of almost 7 months than I had by the time I was 26 years old.
Yes, you came to it very late. I watched a game with my 5- and 3-year-old, and I thought they would be excited for it. And the only thing they liked was when a player got hurt and the doctors ran out and sprayed their ankles. They thought it was amazing that there were just like doctors on the scene.
They're cleaning him, Daddy.
They're cleaning him up. 20 nominations for Ted Lasso. This is a show you both star in, write on, created, and morning of. I mean, you guys, I think, probably had some hope that there would be some nominations. You couldn't have imagined it would be 20. How did you find out the news?
Well, yeah, I mean, we'd done all right in the previous ones, you know, this season. So, like, yeah, we'll probably get 1 or 2. But I was hoping to sleep through it because then I don't have to worry about nothing. And, again, I have a 6-month-old at that time, so he had other plans. So at that point, I'm having my Cheerios and keeping him alive. So I was like, all right, I'll turn it on. And, yeah, then, you know, we get nominated and Jason gets nominated and then the show's over. I'm like, oh, okay. I thought there were usually more categories, but all right. And I didn't know that they were only showing part of them.
Yeah.
So then my manager is calling me with like, you know, as if he was on like a rocket skateboard of some kind. Just, and all these things. So yeah, it was an all right little morning. I'm just happy so many people from the show got nominated though, like, you know, down into the creative arts categories and everything. That was cool.
It was great. You know, we talked to your co-star Hannah this week, and I should say last week, and she was saying that you guys are as close as it seems. And one of the really cool things in a category with 8 nominees that you're in, 3 of the other 7 are your co-stars. It just must be such a cool feeling.
Yeah, I mean, it's already ruined our relationships with each other.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, I know from our friendship, I know you to be a really petty person.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as you started getting nominated for Emmys, even though I wasn't on any TV shows, I was just like, what, him?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I carry that with me to this day. It's gotten me so far.
You would text and say, I thought this was my year. And I'd say, Brendan, you're not on a television show.
Ugh, you with your dumb reality on top of my dreams.
Hey, so again, you know, I was sort of present at creation, not of Ted Lasso, but of when you became a soccer fan, because I was just like you, and it wasn't until we lived together in Amsterdam that I think we realized what a beautiful game it was. But this really is special. You got to be one of the Falconers for a game in LA Tell me about what the role of the Falconer is at this game and why this team has Falcons.
I wish I could tell you why.
Sure.
That part really, I guess because, I just figured it out. Because if you mix out the letters of LAFC, you have 2/3 of Falcon. Boom. Great. So now we know that one. But yeah, it's like the ceremonial pregame first pitch, basically, is like they have this Falcon and someone releases it and it flies around and it catches a little chip that has the logo of the opposing team and the Falcon tears that to bits. What you don't know until you do it, and great honor. I was so happy to do it. I'd seen it happen many times. You have there in your hand a picture of me being pooped on. That is the exact moment the Falcon is poop. You can't see it because of the J.J. Abrams flare coming out of the Falcon's butthole.
That's why they put that light there.
Probably. Probably. They know what's up. And I wiped it on my back, and I didn't know that it was on my back, and so I had Falcon poop for the entirety of that game, which was also a humbling 4-1 home loss. So I'm a good luck charm for LAFC, and I'm very proud.
It is, it's kind of nicer than a first pitch, though, because a first pitch you can really reveal that maybe you're bad at a sport, but nobody's going to say, like, oh, that's his first Falcon. We were talking about this recently because Amber Ruffin, who also worked with us at Boom Chicago, was wearing a blonde wig recently and speaking in sort of a broken European accent. And I was like, oh, you're doing Uda from Boom Chicago. This was a sketch that you used to do with Oscar winner Jordan Peele at Boom Chicago. There you are, you're playing Bono, and there is our friend Jordan Peele. Is it weird now to look back at your time living in Amsterdam, or do you just have fond memories?
Oh gosh, only fond memories, I mean, but it's fun. Like we had, crazy like partying times there on top of getting our chops up doing constant performing for drunk people.
Speaking of, you talk about crazy times, and I want to make sure we get to this. Talk about the gonzo parties you used to do and the role you played in them and how much worse it would have been if cell phones were around.
Well, there are these parties that were hosted by Australian Dave, and they were full on just wear whatever the hell you want costume parties, like not themed, just go for it. And so I would literally just dig through a pile of clothes and put on crazy stuff. And I often think about like the fun that kids have today has just got to be ruined and curtailed by the notion that you're going to be online at any moment. We did not have that. I feel like maybe we were the last chunk of people having ridiculous behavior out in public that will never have that chance again without fear of repercussion. And, we've lost something there, Seth. Back in my day, we'd have to walk to school. Ooh.
I like that if you said my friend Dave's hosting a party, you'd say, oh, that's probably a normal party. But if you said Australian Dave's hosting a party, you'd be like, oh, I hope there aren't cameras. Hey, buddy, congratulations on all your nominations. You're nominated a couple times for writing as well, which are also so well-deserved. And thank you. It's always great to see your face.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Ted Lasso is streaming on Apple TV Plus with new episodes released every Friday. We'll be right back with more Late Night.